What's up, Give and Grow? Welcome back. Today is Thursday, September 15th, 2022. We're going to do part three of our budgeting series. For everyone who's been following along, we're excited to wrap this up today and give a real life example. So, yeah, let's get started, Brian. Show us what we're doing.
Right. So, so if you go back to the steps, the first thing you wanted to do was see what your household income is. We're just going to use examples in this video. So, let's say there's a family, and they make what, like 40K roughly.
Yeah, let's go with that.
And I guess for the sake of this, we'll like not include taxes. So let's just say, they get paid every other week, and they make like 2K every single check.
Okay, cool.
So that's the first step. The second step is to go and take a look at all of your expenses. So I mean, you're gonna be writing those down, but we're actually gonna just do it all in this. We're actually gonna go to the third step, which is the budgeting app part of it.
And what's it called again?
So we're gonna use EveryDollar.
EveryDollar.
I'm just gonna pull it up right here. So like you just go to everydollar.com. You sign up for it with your email. It's free. It's gonna bring you to this screen right here after you go through some prompts. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna click Create Budget for whatever the month is, and it's gonna pull up this screen right here. So, as you can see, there's a bunch of different prompts. Actually, because the scroll wheel is weird. It's gonna show you all these things. It's gonna have your income. If you give, it's gonna have a giving thing right here. Your savings, which they already have emergency fund set up for you right there if you want to have money in there. Then you have all your bills. So the goal is to basically take your income. So in this case, we're just gonna do 2,000 for each one of these. And then we're gonna start going through and allocating those, this 4K, because it says 4K left to budget, into all of this.
Do it.
So once you already figured out what your expenses are, that's when you're gonna go in here and you're just gonna put it in here. So let's say your rent's like $1,000, which is like very unlikely, but
what would be realistic? 1,200.
Yeah. 12 to like 15, I'd say. I mean, it depends on where you live. In Memphis, actually, 1,000 to 1,500.
1,000's fine. Yeah, we'll keep that.
Right. So like you have 1,000. So some of these you can actually come in here and delete these. If your water, gas, and electricity are all separate, you can do that. But for us, let's say this person lives in Memphis. If you want to just delete these, you can do that. So we're actually just gonna make this MLGNW because that's Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. Okay. So if you have one fund for that, you can just delete these other two, like so. So let's say that your MLGNW, which it's kind of a range. So sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. If you live like in a house, it's going to be higher. So let's just say this is like 150 a month, right? So we'll just make that 150. Internet, depending on what you have, if you have like a bundle, whatever. But let's just say it's just internet. So
70.
Yeah, we probably put that at like 70. Streaming services, let's say the average person has like Netflix or something like that.
Amazon Prime, maybe.
Yeah, let's just make this at like 25 or 30.
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, perfect.
Right. Trash, normally if you live in like a county, there's like a trash fee. So let's say this person
15.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, we can say that let's say this person lives in the Memphis district, and we only pay for trash, for example, once every like 3 months. So we kind of like take that out of a different fund. Okay. So for us, we have a miscellaneous fund, which is we set aside money in case something happens that month, and if we don't use it all, it just rolls over. So but in this case, if you wanted to, you can have this. This is actually a good example. So for us, our trash ranges sometimes, but normally it's around like maybe like 150 every like 3 month. No, every quarter. So yeah, every 3 months. So what you can do is you can actually set this up as a fund. So for trash in the Memphis area for us, you might not pay monthly. You might pay once every like 3 months. And a good way of of allocating resources in this case is you make your trash fund or your trash bucket into a fund. So if you just click on this, you click on in over here, it says fund right here. You click on set and you click on make this a fund. So your original balance is going to be when you start it. So let's say you pay 150 once every like 3 months, right?
Okay.
So roughly that'll be $50 a month that's going to be accumulated over time, in which by the time you're ready to actually pay, you'll have the 150. So if you set this as zero, and then you have a goal amount. In this case, we're not really gonna really use that, but you just have this set as zero. If you have this planned for $50, by the time 3 months happen, this $50 is gonna roll over into the next month, and then it'll be 100, and then whenever you go into the next month after that, it'll be 150.
Cool.
So basically, you just have $50 set aside every single month for that. So you'll know that it's a fund because there's a little pig by it. So whatever is not spent here is going to be rolled over into the next month's budget. So phone bill, let's just say you pay for like you and maybe your spouse's phone. Let's just say that's like $100 a month. It might be less or more. I'm not really sure. Um, Health insurance, depending now, like if you work for a company, it might come out of your check. If you have
Right.
like a third party insurance, it comes out of that. Let's say it comes
50.
out. Let's say it comes out of the check.
Yeah,
So you're
that's
not you're not, you're not really going to be worrying about this. So we'll just get rid of this.
Same with life
Yeah, same with
insurance.
life insurance. Sometimes life insurance and auto insurance can all be bundled into the same thing. So you can actually what you can do is or whatever provider you have, you'll take the total for that. So let's say auto insurance for like two cars is like
Two.
200.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
200. So put that there. I don't know why this is here.
Delete that. I have that. That's
That's
something my company offers.
yeah, that's really
LifeLock.
strange. Okay. So yeah, so this is a good one. So you're gonna have your like home stuff like your mortgage, MLGW, internet, your streaming services, and your gym are gonna be those ones that even though they're not like detrimental, but you still want to keep up with those. So let's say your gym is like for example here ATC is what like $15 a month,
Mhm.
whatever. So you do like 15, and
Yeah, is that including your spouse?
oh yeah. If you have like one gym that they all go to. Now, if they're separate, then you'll have to be like let's say hers is like 20 and you're just 15, then you'll just make this 35
That's cool.
essentially.
Cool. All right.
So these are just some that they have prompted for you already. Now, the cool thing about EveryDollar is that it has spending and bills and subscriptions in like a separate thing, but you can have it all under one. That's what I do. That just helps me. But let's say you just wanted to just like keep it the way it is. So so now you go down here, right? All of these, actually, I would say that the gym and the streaming services can be down here in the spending area because they're not like, necessity things. So I try to keep all of those in the spending area if I was going based off of this format.
So
So
to the right, it's keeping a percentage of everything's going to bills and subscriptions. It's showing 40% right now.
right, correct.
1,610.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Let's keep on going.
Right. So if we keep on going, this is where like, you go into your account and see how much you're spending because your groceries are going to vary all the time, but it's also something that you can decide whether or not you can cut back on. Like let's say you were spending like 500, well, for your family, let's say, you bought higher end food, or, you bought, just like stuff like that, stuff that you can like cut. So I would start off by just having like a normal number. So like, let's say like for a family, let's say this is like $1,000, right? Restaurants, let's say you set something where y'all go out to eat maybe like once a week. For a family, was it like $100 a week, maybe?
For just once. Uh,
I mean, actually, $50 might be
maybe 300 total.
300 for the month. Okay, yeah, let's just try that.
If you're being strict.
Right, yeah. If you're being strict.
And this one we're being kind of strict. That's fine. We'll see.
Right. So your
We
gas,
can always add to it.
like your gas is gonna vary depending on how far you go to work. If one of y'all's working from home, your car, huh?
What's y'all's?
Ours is like one. I think ours is like 200.
That is a good one for this.
Yeah, 200. So yeah. Let's say that y'all drive relatively like close and whatever, or it's just like one of y'all is working and the other is like staying home or something. Just like something like that. That's why it's important to have your budget be set for around your lifestyle and your goals, which we'll get into the goal portion here after we get done filling all this out. Clothing, honestly, like we need to get rid of this because that's if you want to have a budget, you have to learn to sacrifice, and I would say that clothing is one that you can sacrifice in the meantime. What we do is we have buckets for like play money, so that includes like spending or like whatever else you want to have. So actually, instead of that, let's just have this set for like play. We'll just call this play instead. Play. Which we can get. Huh?
Oh, nothing else. What you're gonna put in the play?
Oh yeah, right. So let's say for like both of y'all now, like me and my wife, we have our separate. We have $50 a month. So actually, what you can do is like you can be like play, husbands, and then you can have one for the wife here or whoever. It can be anybody, honestly.
Cool. Okay.
So like let's say you have like $50 for like both of those a month.
Okay.
Let's assume that y'all don't have a pet, so we can take that out. And if we're gonna assume that maybe the wife stays home, then we can take childcare out. Repairs and maintenance. This is gonna depend on if you rent or if you buy, or maybe you have some fund that you set aside for maybe like your car or something like that. Let's just say tentatively we have, and this is just a random number. Let's just say like, like we can make this actually a fund because if you don't have repairs that month, you can just roll that over into the next month.
Cool.
Let's make that like 25 a month.
Gonna add the pig.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice.
make this a fund, and that should be it. There you go.
There we go. Cool.
And then miscellaneous. This is one that we have. I would just have this set to 50 because you never know what might happen. Like something might happen.
Is it a fund too? Or?
Yeah. This is also going to be a fund. Sorry. So this would be a fund. So we'll start that off at 50. Now, as you can see right now, before we get into the debt portion, as you can see right now, you have your bills and subscriptions that came out to 40% of your income being used, and then you have your spending that came out to 42%, and you have $715 left. Okay, if you had no debt, which is like not the common thing, you now have $715 left to use as you want. Now, let's say you don't care about like saving and you just want to have your money go to wherever you want it to go. You can have that 715 go to more money in your groceries, maybe more restaurant, and you can go in here and you can change that in the plan. Maybe y'all want to have more play money. Maybe your miscellaneous should be more. Like, you can be able to go in here and change that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you wanted to, you can use the 715 and you can like save that and you can you can do whatever you want with that after that. Like you can save it, you can put it away, you can invest it, you can do whatever you want to do.
Not gonna give to the church, man.
Well, I mean, well, let's say, I mean, what? Okay, if you go to church, let's assume you go to church. This would be 10% of your income. So this would be what?
40.
So like let's say you
315
had that.
left.
So yeah, you have 315 left. In your savings account, like or sorry, for your savings, you can put this as just like general savings, and then you can just put this away. Let's say you just put it away. So before we go on to like the debt or maybe like making cuts, whatever, let's just assume that you did this for one entire year. So when you're done with this, as the months go on, you can then go and then create your budget for the next month by doing this. So you would just click right here on September. It's gonna pull up the months at the very top, and then you're just gonna just choose October, and then you click start playing for October, and then it's gonna pull up. It's gonna copy it from the previous one.
Nice, nice.
And this gives you flexibility to like make changes. But let's go back to September, for example. So let's say you did this exact budget for like one entire year. You're saving 8% of your income every single month. You're giving 10%, and then you have all this. If you weren't keeping up with your stuff, you don't know how much is actually going into your spending or your bills. Like you just don't know because you're not keeping up with it. And this is why this is important.
And so for yourself, whenever you spend like your MLGW comes out, you just go in and you type it in manually.
Right.
Okay.
I'll go into that in a second. Actually, that's a good thing to bring up. But let's just assume that like this is your budget right here, and you stuck to this budget for an entire year. So essentially, you would be saving $315 a month, which
37.
yeah, that's like
38.
yeah, that'll be times 12. Yeah. Roughly $3,800 a year is what you'll be, and like this is
Nice.
just for just putting the numbers in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So going back to what he was saying, normally you would want to have this on your phone because when you spend something, you'll just go to the EveryDollar app and you'll keep track of your stuff there. So what you want to do is let's say you got paid, but then your bills come out, and then all this stuff happens here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your transactions. You're gonna click the plus sign, and then let's say your rent came out, so that's $100. I'm sorry, $1,000. It's gonna ask you where. Well, actually, no, not the where. It's gonna have you choose the budgeted bucket to choose. So then you would just go down here. You would choose your mortgage. You click track expense, and then look what happens here. It had 1,000, and over here is how much you have remaining in that bucket. So it went down to 0.
Awesome.
So let's say you go down. Let's say and that's for one fixed one, right? So let's say you go grocery shopping. You spend like $300 on groceries for that time. So you go back, you put in your 300, and then you would go down to your groceries budget, track expense, and then look what happens. Now you have 700 left right here.
Cool.
You can also click on tracked over here, and it'll tell you what exactly you put in for whatever thing, right? So over here, this is how much you will have left for that month. Your goal is to not go negative on this. If you go negative, for example, let's say that you spent now $800 on your groceries. It's going to show up as red, right?
Okay. Negative 100.
Right. Yeah, so that's not where you want to be. So let's just delete that. So like this is what you want to do when you spend something. You go in here, you track your expenses by just clicking the plus sign. You enter the amount, and then it's gonna take it out from your remaining over here. So that's basically all this really is, right?
Would it be okay if we added? I know a lot of people have a car payment. A lot of people have student loan. A lot of people are paying off credit card.
Right, right,
Let's just
right.
add $200 each paycheck or 250 each paycheck, and we can make it work into the debt. Just for an example.
Okay. Well, I mean, well. Let's keep it 4,000, and let's just add it here, for example. So down
Okay.
here in the debt area, you can actually add how much. Now, I've never used this because I'm not in debt, but if you are in debt, you can have the amount down here, how much you can actually have allocated towards that debt, right? So for example, let's say you wanted to allocate, like 50, like $25 a month to this, right? So if you click on credit card, for example, let's say your starting balance,
Let's say
your debt balance,
5K.
yeah, let's say it's 5,000, and let's say that you're doing a $25 minimum payment right here. You would just set that right here. You click save, and then now over here, if once you have this set, so like let's say you have $25 right here set, set to do that every single month. Now, I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work, because I think that your due date, you can set your due date for when you're for
Comes
when
out.
yeah
Yeah.
for when it comes out. Let's say it comes out on the 23rd, and we have it repeat every single month. So we do it like that.
Say your car payment's what, 250?
Yeah, let's say the car payment, and then let's make the same date. So your car payment would be 250. So let's make this.
Well, starting,
Oh, okay. Let's say your car
you
is
still owe
like
ten
is like
thousand
is
dollars
like yeah
on
is
it.
like 10K. Your car payment is 250. So we'll put that there, and then we'll put 250 here. Oh, we'll make this 250. Okay, student loans. Let's why
Maybe another pay on that.
oh, what? 10,000. Oh, save. That's what it was. Okay. So then right here, student loans. Let's say you have let's say you have like 20K.
20K. Yeah.
20K. So then let's say you pay that on the same day. Repeat every month. 20,000. And let's say, well, right now student loans are frozen, but let's just say you're making like a $200 payment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Save that, and then you go over here, and then you have $200 over here. So let's just start like that, right?
Yeah, that's good.
So if we keep things the same way they are right now, what do you notice?
475 over.
We are drowning right now. This is not good. So you can do. There's a couple of things that you can do, which the first thing you want to do is decide whether or not part of your debt is something that you need, or something that you can, or something that like you can plan to like get rid of quickly. So let's say like you want to keep your $10,000 car with the loan. You're trying to still pay off your credit card debt, which $25 a month is like not really that much, but ideally you want to be able to like get out. But let's say you had to pay each one of these every single time, right?
Hmm.
So the only choice you have is to go back into your budget and decide whether or not that sacrifices can be made. So so your living expenses are probably not going to be something that's going to be some. It's going to be something that you can really get rid of. Um, Gym, you want to maintain your going to the gym for your health, so I think that's fine. So what you want to do is you want to go into your expenses. So for this,
We lower groceries down to 800.
yeah, groceries. You might be, you might be trying to just like decide that you'll be eating less like name brand food, and you get stuff that's just a little cheaper, and that's something that like y'all will have to do on your own and figure out like, okay, well, how much is feasible for this, right? So 800, we can probably move this down to like 200.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest with you, you probably don't even have enough to even eat out, so we can just make this 0.
No eating out.
Honestly. So that just puts you over 25. So let's just give you $25 a month. So that's kind of like where
We're
we
on
can be.
budget.
Yeah. We're on budget now. So then your gas. Now your play money, you might not need to be doing anything.
Yeah.
So you could. This is where you can like mess around with it. So it's like what if y'all don't have $50 each, and then y'all put it into your restaurants, and y'all can eat out $125 a month,
Yeah.
right? You can do that, but if you want to keep it like this, you can do it like that.
And you're still saving that $315 a month.
No, you're not.
Oh, you're not saving that.
You're not because that money is going towards your debt. If you look at your summary, your debt is 12% of your income. You're spending.
Emergency fund. Okay. I mean, what's your savings is still in there.
Oh, it is. So, yeah, right. I'm sorry. You're right. You are still saving $315 a month.
That's good. And let's assume you're investing from your check, straight out of your check, to your 401k account.
Yeah. Right. That's not like let's say that like let's say 4,000 is after taxes, after your investment.
Yeah.
To your 401k. So right. I'm sorry.
This would be good. I mean, I think this is a good budget.
Yeah. It's like you are saving $315 a month, and you're paying off your debt. Now, like something what you want to do, which is what Dave Ramsey what Dave Ramsey recommends, is your savings. Let's say you have like $0 in your emergency fund. So for the first couple of months, this savings would actually be going towards your emergency fund.
And we get that up to 1,000 first.
Right.
Eventually, with 3 to 6 months, like we talked about. Yeah.
Right. Because your debt is going to be something that's going to be one that you're going to want to try to get rid of. Now, like your credit card, your car payment, and your student loans. That's what I would consider that to be bad debt, which is ones that you would want to get rid of.
Yeah, I mean,
as quick as you
imagine
can.
if you get this car payment taken out. I mean, that's another $250. Imagine you get those student loans, $450 extra.
Right.
That could be saved or go to other stuff, or could be invested. So just stuff to think about.
Right.
Cool.
I mean, let's assume that I mean, well, that's 20K plus. What was this? It was a 5K plus 10K, so 15K. So that's 35K right here, right?
Yeah.
Let's assume you paid all that off by following this within the next few years, which, well actually, no.
It'll take longer than that.
It would take longer than that, actually. so this is, it would take longer than that.
Like a decade, just about.
Right. But this is why, okay, before we go on.
You want to see it.
Well, I mean, you want to see it, but if you see that this is where you're going to be, for example, your life right now, y'all make $4K a month. You're only saving $315, and you're paying off your debt. What was this? $475 a month on your debt. That's not really, in my opinion, that's not a sustainable thing, because imagine this: you have $35,000 to pay off.
Mm-hmm.
If you're only putting away 315, which was what, like roughly like 3,800, that's going to take you, what you're saying, over a decade to pay off all of that. So this is where it's going to depend on your lifestyle and what you can do to better get a hold of this, because the budget's one thing, but if you're looking to get towards your financial freedom, you want to try to get out of debt as quick as you can. So what does that mean? Picking up some jobs. It can mean
Well,
like,
or getting a better paying job.
yeah, right,
Sometimes
right. Getting a better paying job, like, maybe doing better at your job and getting like a promotion. Maybe your wife or your spouse can get a job, and y'all might have to figure something out with childcare. Maybe like a family member can help. Whatever it really takes to get there is what I think you should do, because 12, I mean, a decade to pay off your, and like that's not even counting future debt that you might get into in the future, right? So, let's say like, now like, if this is what you want, if you don't care about paying off your debt, if you're just trying to just do the monthly.
I mean, I hate this. This is kind of funny, but honestly, this budget is probably better than I would say 60% of Americans.
Yeah, I mean, what's
Honestly,
the, I mean, what's the average debt in America? I mean, we can look that, like, we can Google that now. What's the average debts in America? 96K
wow.
is the average debt in America. I'm not sure if that's, or sorry, the average American. So that is 96K. So, well, I mean, this situation is actually way better than the 96K one.
Yeah.
But think about it like this: do you want to be paying off debt for the rest of your life, or do you want to use your money to be able to build a better future for yourself?
Right.
So and like, you do that by like what he was saying before. Like, you figure out ways in which your income can increase over time, because it's like, yeah, technically you could put this you could put this 315 into like like a Roth IRA, like what we talk about. And like, maybe over time that can be enough within the next 30 years to like clear all your debt, but you'll be back to like, net zero again. By the time you retire, you want to have the million, you want to be well over a million. Well, I mean, well, that's just my opinion, right? It's like you want to be able to retire and quit working and spend more time with your family, and do the things that you want to do with your family or whatever. So
And look what happens if you just make that 2,500 for each paycheck.
2,500, yeah. Yeah. So like let's say
Look
this
how
is
big of a difference
25.
this makes.
Yeah, you'll have an extra $1,000 to
Look at that.
budget.
It makes a huge difference. You can pay down more on the debt. You can save more. You're getting paid more. That means you're going to be investing more from your paycheck and your
Right.
401k.
Yeah, let's say you just put this with your savings, and then you use your savings to pay off your debt
Yeah.
even
Do that.
more. So that'll be what 1,315
Yeah. So
times sorry, times 12. Yeah, that's 15.7K a year.
yeah.
So
you
that,
could pay it off in two
yeah,
and a half years.
yeah. You, like, just from getting more income, you went from potentially paying off your debt in 12 years to only 2.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good.
That's
And then,
amazing.
yeah, and then like let's say all your debt is gone. Like, let's say we'll just put these back to
Oh,
zero.
this is where it gets good.
Right. So now
Make that
that's
1,400.
right. That's 1,400 plus your 315. So rough was that 1,790.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's roughly
2K.
yeah. That's roughly 2K. And then you put that 2K, and then you invest that, and then you're good. But it starts with doing this, right?
Yeah.
It starts with seeing how much you make, track, seeing how much your expenses are, your recurring expenses and your non-recurring expenses, deciding how much you want to spend on your non-recurring expenses, go into an app, put it all in here, track it. And then you're gonna see your money slowly start to actually work for you to get you where you want to be in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, if this seems intimidating, start small. You know, have a small goal to save $100 a month for quarter one, quarter two, boost it to 250, quarter three, 400, quarter five, 500, or quarter four, 500. You know, by the end of the year, you're going to be saving some money, and you're going to build on that going into the next year. So
Right.
start small and build on it. But
That's true.
yeah, anything else you want to talk about with this, man?
I don't.
It's been a pretty long video. We're
Yeah, I
almost,
mean, I think we're good, but I mean, this is like a very basic one, and like
yeah.
everybody's incomes are gonna be different.
Yeah, I mean,
Every
kids
yeah,
make a big
yeah,
difference. You know,
that's yeah,
private school, a lot of things are
that's
different. So
that's where you got to go in, and
let's,
you gotta really make this work for you because you can't halfway do this because
yeah,
if you halfway do it, you're gonna be like, oh well, the budget's not working, and then
yeah,
you'll get discouraged, and then you'll quit.
yeah.
But
Get the numbers down. See where the money's going. You'll be surprised.
right,
Sometimes you're like, dang, I got to cut back on that, but
right,
it's worth it.
yeah,
All right, man. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you,
yeah,
Ryan. You
yeah.
did an awesome job with this.
Yeah,
But
if you have any questions about this too, because I know
yeah,
that this is like a very rough, going through this. But if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. We would love to give y'all some, some
yeah.
guidance on this. So,
And maybe next week we'll do an economy rundown. We got a lot of stuff going on next week, so
yeah.
it's going to be exciting. All right, guys. Until next time, let's continue to give and grow.